Today, we're diving into a powerful seed-starting secret that nature has been hiding right under our noses. It's a method that uses three super simple items, you probably have them at home right now, to pretty much guarantee your gardening success. So our story starts with this incredible image. A broken willow branch tumbles into a river, and just days later, brand new roots burst out. This isn't just some fairy tale. As our source says, this is straight up biochemistry, and it holds the key to changing the way we start our gardens. And that, right there, is the big question for today. What is the willow's secret? And more importantly, how can it, along with a couple of other things from your house, totally transform your luck with starting seeds from scratch? Ah, man, we've all been there, right? You plant your seeds so carefully, you give them water, you wait, and then nothing. Or what's even worse, these tiny little seedlings pop up, you get all excited, and then they just collapse and die overnight. That problem is called damping off, and it is absolutely heartbreaking. But we're about to find out it's also totally avoidable. Okay, so let's get into the first part of the solution. We have to go back to that broken willow branch to understand secret number one, the incredible, almost magical power of the willow tree. So here's the cool science behind it. The reason a willow can grow roots so easily is because of a natural plant hormone called indole butyric acid, or IBA for short. The tree is just packed with this stuff, especially in its fresh green shoots. And here's the real kicker. IBA is the exact same active ingredient in those pricey rooting hormones you buy at the store. And this isn't some new discovery. For centuries, long before we had labs and plastic bottles, gardeners knew about this. They'd just soak some willow twigs in water to create what they called willow water. It's a completely free and ridiculously effective natural rooting hormone. So, getting powerful roots is step one. That's a huge deal. But what about protecting that little plant from disease? Well, for our second secret, we're actually going to leave the garden and head straight for your medicine cabinet. And this slide just lays out the hidden connection perfectly. For literally thousands of years, people chewed on willow bark for pain and fever. Then, in the 1800s, scientists finally figured out what the active compound was, salicin. Fast forward to 1897, and that was refined into acetylsalicylic acid, which is just the fancy name for the active ingredient in aspirin. The healing power of that ancient tree is sitting right there in that little white pill. So, how in the world does this help a seed? Well, when you treat a seed with water that has aspirin in it, the salicylic acid kicks off something called systemic acquired resistance, or SAR. And all that really means is that it switches on the plant's own immune system, telling it to get ready for a fight. Honestly, this is the best way to think about it. The aspirin is basically a vaccine for your plants. It doesn't actually harm them, but it sends this little warning signal that puts the entire seedling on high alert. So it's ready to fight off those nasty fungal and bacterial attacks that cause damping off before they even get a chance to start. Okay, so we've got stimulated roots and a ready-to-go immune system. Awesome. But there's one last piece of the puzzle we have to solve before any of that even matters, and that brings us to the third and final secret, the wake-up call. This one drives so many gardeners crazy. You've got a perfectly good seed, the soil is great, you're watering it, so why on earth is it just sitting there refusing to sprout? Well, the answer is dormancy. The seed is literally still fast asleep. See, inside every dormant seed, there's a chemical off switch. It's a hormone called abscisic acid, or ABA, and it's keeping that seed in a deep, deep sleep. To wake it up, you need a jolt, and that jolt comes from our third secret ingredient, hydrogen peroxide. It sends this little oxidative signal that just breaks down the ABA, flipping the switch from sleep to grow. But wait, there's more. Hydrogen peroxide isn't just an alarm clock. It's also like a shot of espresso for the seed. It helps fire up enzymes that turn all the starches stored inside the seed into simple sugars. That's an instant energy source to power its first, most important push of growth. All right, so we've gone through the why behind all three of these amazing secrets. Now it's time for the part you've been waiting for. Let's put it all together and get into the actual recipe, the triple action formula. This is exactly why this method is just so incredibly powerful. You're not just doing one thing. You're solving the three biggest problems a seed has to deal with all at once. You stimulate the roots with willow water, you protect it with aspirin, and you activate it with hydrogen peroxide. It's the whole shebang. And the process itself could not be easier. It really just breaks down into 4 simple steps. First, you prepare your willow water. Then you add the aspirin. After that, you mix in the hydrogen peroxide. And finally, you just soak your seeds in it for about 12 to 24 hours. Now let's get into the exact amounts. Okay, this is the one to screenshot because these details are super important. You start with 1 gallon of willow water. To make it, just chop up some young willow twigs and soak them in room temperature water for 2 or 3 days. And a huge tip here, do not boil the water. Heat will destroy the good stuff. To that gallon, you're going to add 1 standard 325 milligram uncoated aspirin tablet. Make sure it's uncoated and crush it up so it dissolves all the way. Finally, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of the standard 3% hydrogen peroxide you get at the pharmacy. And please, only use the 3% solution. Anything stronger is dangerous and will kill your seeds. Mix it all up, and then just let your seeds soak in there for 12 to 24 hours before you plant them. That's it. Now, I know this all sounds almost too good to be true, but does the science actually back it up? Well, let's take a look at some actual data and see this method in action. And here you go. This is awesome. This is data from a 2019 study on mung beans. On the left, you see the control group. The roots grew to about 2.2 centimeters. But look at the right. The seeds that were treated with salicylic acid, the key stuff from our aspirin, grew roots that were more than double that length, all the way to 5.3 centimeters. So this isn't just some gardening theory. This is documented, repeatable science. So what does a bar chart like that really mean for you and your garden? It's actually really simple. Better roots from day one mean your plant can suck up way more water and nutrients, and that leads directly to stronger, healthier plants, and yeah, ultimately way bigger harvests. I mean, think about it. This whole powerful method for stimulating, protecting, and activating our seeds, it all came from a common tree and 2 simple items from the drugstore. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other amazing gardening secrets is nature hiding from us right out in plain sight?